I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Well, thanks for coming out. I guess we'll approve the minutes from July 2026.
I know. I'm the one that takes care of it, so I can complain to myself. It'll be out. Take the asphalt. At least we could figure out the just. I got a lot of
Make a motion to approve minutes.
I second it.
All in favor? Okay, thanks. We're going to approve the bills for August 2026.
Did you write Laura funny notes?
Did.
Technically to the auditor, but she gets the enjoyment of reading them too.
Did you pass?
Did I pass? No, I haven't taken it yet. That was an overview.
You will.
If it's goes as well as the overview was, I have high hopes.
You will.
Did I hear a motion?
Somebody's still looking.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm about done.
Going over all of the receipts. Making sure I'm not getting pedicures on the
That looks
lunch.
like one of mine, so.
This was paid with a different Visa card. Is there any reason for that one?
That's a Home
Home Depot.
Depot.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, thank you. I move to approve the bills for August 2026.
I second.
All in favor? Okay, thanks. So it's Paul
Yeah,
from Fybercom.
not okay to stand.
Let's hear what you have to say.
Okay, it's okay when I stand over here?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm Paul Swartzen. I'm with the company called Fybercom. We're an internet service provider based out of Iowa Falls. We have a branch office in Burley. And first of all, let me thank you, Mayor and City Council, for letting me come and talk to you tonight. We have some pretty exciting news for the city. We would like to bring high-speed fiber internet into your town.
Yes!
Those are the reactions I've heard.
Yeah. The good part is we're a company that still likes to do business the old-fashioned way. We like to come in, partner with you and with your public works people to make sure that we all understand the fiber plan, where things are at, and try to avoid any major disruption to services that are going on here. I know from a previous conversation that we may not know exactly where everything is at, but we will try to work our best with everyone. So we use basically three types of ways to do it. We like to do everything in the ground. We like to be about 3 feet deep. We do trenching, which is just like a big trenching machine in open fields where there's nothing that we really have to worry about, and we just lay conduit down a lot like sprinkler pipe, only in a bigger way. Then we pull fiber optics through there. The second type of technology we use is called directional boring. We bring in a bore, which is a big piece of equipment that basically just tunnels underneath your roads and sidewalks and parking lots, anything like that. The third type of technology we use is called pneumatic missiling. We have a subcontract with a company that comes in, digs holes by hand at property lines about 20 feet apart, and then we shoot this pneumatic missile underneath the ground. It's basically like a hammer, an air hammer. It pushes its way through the ground. We get it to the other box, and then we pull conduit back and then fiber back through it. So we try to use the least disruptive technology we can for getting the job done. The nice part about that is when people get to flower beds and yards and things like that, they're pretty non-intrusive. They do end up with a sprinkler type size box that does say Fybercom and fiber on top of it, so we can identify it. Then we use these little, we call them flower pots, and they're little 4-inch connector holes. And so in places where we can use those, we use those because they're a lot smaller. The regular box is about 12 by 18, really similar to a sprinkler box. We put those at ground level so you can mow over them, and we try to clean up everything so it looks really good when we're done. The next question that everybody asks me is, do they have to sign up for internet? The answer is they absolutely do not have to sign up for internet. We do offer a package where while we're in the area doing the work, then there is no activation fee, no install fee. If they sign up later, a year later, and our equipment's out of the area, then there is an install fee because we have to bring equipment back. Now, if it's reasonable, we don't have to bring in big equipment, That fee is not, it's like $150 to install. But while we're in the area doing the work, people can get it actually ran to their house for no activation, no install fee. The next question I get is, like, what kind of speeds are we talking? So fiber is really, really good at sending data and receiving data, and it actually works at the speed of light. It's light through a glass strand. And so the things that slow it down are the ends. And so the ends, what we call routers are still not capable of taking all the speed that we can pump through there, which means that it can grow in the future. So right now we're talking a 600 by 600 connection. We have a 1 gig connection, which is 1,000 by 1,000 megabits per second. And we have a 2.5 gig by 2.5 gig. Those are the 3 packages that we offer right now. Pricing wise, the lowest package is $76.10 a month. 1 gig is $81.10 a month. And then just to be difficult with me, the 2.5 gig is $89.90. I tried to get them to stay the same, but it's like gas prices. Not a lot of control over it. So anyhow, 2.5 gigs is an awful lot of data. So we typically don't see, some people like to sign up for it just because it's the fastest, the best. It's still $89. They're used to paying probably more than that. So they just go, just bring me what you can give me. It's super fast, super good. And I'm not just, 2.5 gigs is a lot of data. So most businesses, like I'm the CIO at Madison County, we run the entire county, 150 machines on a 1 gig connection. So you probably won't have 150 devices at your house unless you're very popular. I don't know who everybody is, so I won't discount that. Or if you have huge families, family reunions, you
Can you repeat those prices again?
Yes, $76.10 for a 600 by 600, $81.10 for a 1 gig connection, and $89.90 for a 2.5 gig connection. So basically, that's the moral of the story. We want to bring internet. We're actually in the project right now over in Firth. I sort of dropped the ball. We had a grant. It was called the Taylor Basalt grant. And I assumed that covered everything. Taylor Basalt. Well, as it turns out, we started over in Perth, and then we find out that Basalt is an actual town with a mayor and a city council, which we didn't know that, but it's a city. So we're a little behind, but I don't think that will stop us. We basically just kind of stayed out of your area till we had these conversations until we can get an encroachment agreement signed. Then we'll sit down and have a kickoff meeting, and we're ready to do the work.
But you did come in and draw on our roads.
Then they'd come in and spray paint your roads.
Oh, yeah, that's what that was.
And we were like, who was that out there?
I was wondering too.
Okay. They were supposed to not do that.
Well, somebody at your place dropped the ball in 2021.
Okay.
Because that's when I got signed up with you guys for the radio communication one. I had a long conversation over the phone with someone in your office about it. Yeah, we're a city. We went the whole thing, and they dropped the ball. Because someone in your office knew it was a city with mayor and everything else, and they told me everything I had to do to try to go around door to door to sign up for it, get other people to agree to it.
Well, that was before my involvement, so I won't take credit for that. Anyhow, the good news is we're ready to bring high-speed fiber internet to your community, which I think is really awesome, especially for smaller places. There is no cost. There is no tax dollars being spent. There is no cost to the city. It's basically a turnkey service where we do all the install, we do all of the maintenance, we answer all technical questions, and so the city involvement is really just, we want to work with you to partner to make sure this project goes as good as it can in the public right of way is where we need to stay. And then the lines, so the conduit and the boxes will be inside the public right of way on the roads, and it's basically like a grid. And then from those boxes, then it's direct bury fiber to your home. The reason direct bury fiber is because it's cheap And because if it gets something wrong with it, it's very easy to change again. And so we don't put those in conduit just because of the cost factor. But it will leave a trench in your lawn for a few times of mowing. And it is about the same depth as a sprinkler system. And so we also have a contract with a sprinkler company that comes out and fixes everything. So we like to have the customer on site so that when we're done, they can turn on zones in their sprinkler, make sure that nothing is visible that's wrong. And then we take pictures and we leave. If there's a problem after the fact, it's just a matter of calling Fybercom saying, look, you installed fiber, it did start leaking, and I need somebody out here to fix it. And we have a contract with a professional landscape company, not just somebody that's fixed sprinklers. I fix sprinklers, but I'm not coming back to do sprinklers. So with that, I am open for any questions.
How reliable is it?
I wish I had exact numbers to tell you. It's very reliable, and it depends on timing. The very first, it's not quite as reliable as when we get everything completely done, and then it becomes more reliable the less we mess around with it. So I will tell you, in my particular case, I live in Rexburg, out in the country. I have been down one time in 2.5 years for the significant 2-hour time frame.
That's it?
That's it.
I don't know if anybody else knows, we've had our internet go down a lot.
We
Like a
have,
lot.
but for years we didn't.
I know, feel like our electricity.
Yeah. I need to deal with them.
I would guarantee it's more reliable than your power.
Well, that'd be nice.
How's that? That may be a low bar, I don't know, but
It really kind of is like.
the tough part is without power, the internet also has a hard time running, so.
The only time I know where Fybercom went down was out when they were working out, not Fybercom, but the guys working out there for the railroad across the air lanes, and they cut the fiber. They cut your line coming down.
Yeah.
And that was about 4 hours from being that fixed.
And that happens. Anything that's buried is hidden. I mean, we are part of the dig line system. We do our own locates. We come out and tell people where things are at, just to try and avoid that as much as possible, but it does happen.
So as part of the grid, if somebody hits it over here on this side of town, it typically won't affect anybody over
Yeah,
there.
correct. So what we do is
Just on the main line.
the technology is called redundant loops. And what we do is we basically make loops throughout your town, typically blocks. And so every one of those, because it's a circle, if it gets cut one time, it really doesn't affect anything because it just transmits things back and forth.
Okay.
If it gets cut a second time, then the segment between where it's cut is down till we repair it. So typically these redundant loops, if you think about it, almost all of them will eventually end up being cut somewhere, but not till the second time it gets cut do we know anything about what's going on.
So you don't be able to tell, wait a minute, we're not in a full circle loop on it.
Yeah, we can tell.
You can tell.
Yeah, we can tell that. And we actually fiber is really cool. The technology of fiber is really cool because we can actually put a tester on it and it will tell us, based on how quick it gets down there and back, how many feet it is away from us that it's broken.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's very, very fast. We're talking milliseconds, millions of a second. So, very, very, very fast. I won't bore you with all the details, but it is great technology and it is expandable for the future. The other thing that we found out is it's really nice that it's buried in the ground, because with the exception of people with backhoes, it's pretty hard to get 3 feet down in the dirt. So it becomes really protected. Any other questions for me?
How deep is the average sewer line around here?
We'll find out, right?
About 3.5 feet on that end of town and 20 over here.
We'll stay over here. I don't have to do the work. So with that, Mayor, what my purpose tonight is we have what's called a public right-of-way encroachment agreement. It's a generic agreement that we've used in other communities and towns to basically give us authorization to work in conjunction with you. And it basically, there's a bond in there in case something, very worst case scenario, something happened at Fybercom, they weren't able to complete the project when it was started, the bond would kick in and fix everything. We've never had to touch it. It's solely an insurance policy for very worst case scenario. We are the type of company that if we do something and cause a problem, we will get it fixed. We also want to make sure that your roads, we do have to, what's called pothole sometimes in roads, so that we can locate services and then we dig away from it. But we will pack those every 4 inches until it's tight, and then do your asphalt the same thickness. So it's not like it's not perfect, because once you dig it up, it's never exactly the same, but it's as good as we can make it. So, and we try to avoid that if we can. But the purpose is to see if we can get city council to give the mayor authorization to sign the encroachment agreement so that we can get started doing work.
I will tell you, so the agreement's the same as Blackwood and Aberdeen's the first, all of them. They haven't started Aberdeen yet, but they did do the entire city of Blackwood. And there was a hiccup or two, but overall, it was all very positive. And the hiccups were just fixed. I mean, they went through a manhole in one spot, just not sure how they got off, but everything got fixed immediately. So, I mean, the overall experience, as far as I've heard, is all been positive.
And they're doing 4-inch lifts for compaction is better than most companies do. Most companies will do 12 inches down low and go up to 6 inches and do 4 inches the last, foot.
Okay. What do you think?
I'm giving you my approval.
But you gotta make a motion, right?
So what am I supposed to say that I?
Make a motion to give the mayor authority to enter into that agreement.
I motion to give the mayor the authority to enter into a Fybercom agreement.
All in favor? Okay, we'll do it.
Thank you. So just to tell you how things will go, again, because we're on a speed up schedule, we would like to do a kickoff meeting, hopefully this next coming week. Sit down with maps, have Public Works with us so that we can actually look at what we're planning. I know those maps are all but done. There's a couple that we had questions about railroad crossings, but everything else is pretty like how they think they would like to do it, but we want to make sure, and if it makes sense to move it, now's the time to move lines and stuff like that. So if there's a time that we can get, once I get that contract back, then we can set up a meeting for this next coming week and do the kickoff meeting. And then we, the way we start the project after the kickoff meeting is we go and hand out bags. They are branded with Fybercom on the front of them. This has all the information inside these bags about the project, so people aren't surprised by it. That's why I wish they hadn't come out and painted anything, because they're supposed to wait, but you know how that works. But inside there is the direct number of Fybercom, how to sign up, and then also the project manager who will be on site. He'll either be here or in Firth every day, and you can contact him by cell phone immediately. And we'll bring those with us when we come to the kickoff meeting so that you know exactly who to call if there is a problem. And you'll have one point of contact with Fybercom. You won't have to track down people. That project manager is in charge of this whole project. And if for some reason he is unavailable, then you can call the call center. It'll roll over to the call center and they will get somebody to take care of it. We've learned that from experience. It just works better to have somebody that you can contact. So that's how we do it. Yes.
You mentioned the railroad track.
Yeah.
The city doesn't have any control.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that
Yes.
we have no jurisdiction down that far.
Yeah, we understand that. Railroads are very picky about what they allow us to do. Some places we have to do overhead aerial, and it has to be 15 feet in the air and then 2 anchored poles, and they have all these requirements. We have to submit engineering plans. It takes a while to do that. And sometimes we can go underneath the railroad tracks, but we have to be 15 feet under the surface of the rail. So it's very deep. And again, all engineered studies, because they want to protect their asset. They don't want to have a
dip in their tracks,
Yeah.
and understandably. But we have to deal with them. We also have to deal with ITD, with roads that they control. So, but outside of that, anything within city limits, we'll work with you and we'll try to make everything as good as possible. And our goal, honestly, is to be the #1 best internet provider that you've ever experienced, until you're like such a fan of Fybercom, you just run around with Fybercom hats on. We'll come to the fair, hand out hats. And yeah, so just so you know, they call me Father Fiber, and I actually have a Father Fiber hat. I should bring them around, because they're very clever. They drew a beard on this hat. It has Father Fiber on it. There's only 2 of them in existence, and I own both of them. Anyhow, they're honestly, they're a great company, and I think you'll be very happy. And my job is to get this kickoff meeting and then turn you over to the project manager and let everything roll.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Any other questions for me?
Thanks for finding us.
Yeah, you know, like I say, we had a grant. It was a capital project grant. It was called Taylor Basalt. And I thought that took care of everything. And then we did Firth. Firth is like, and our project manager actually was the one that started with Firth. And he says, hey, did you know that Basalt is actually the city? And then the first time I called, I didn't even know how to get a hold of anybody. So I called Robert Dial. I said, you got anybody? And he called over to Brian Johnson, right? He called Brian. Brian happened to be in the office. And the first thing I said is, I want to talk to the senator of Basalt. And she said, first you have to learn how to say it. So then, for my own knowledge, because I'm kind of a rock collector on the side, and I'm like, there is a rock. I know it's called basalt. I know it. So I had to Google it. And I still contend that you were probably basalt at one point, but I'll go with basalt. So, I don't know.
I got in trouble for calling it basalt when I moved here, and I learned real quick.
I
you
know,
don't do that.
I did too, and I said, you guys live there, I'll call it whatever you tell me. So,
It's just the different ethnics that came in back when everything was being founded.
yeah.
Different, Germans and everything else had different.
Sure. Well, and as I understand it, it was called something else before, right? It was Cedar Point, and then it got moved from the river this direction, and then they named it Basalt. See, history lesson. I didn't even know that. No. And I told them when they came and met, I was like, this reminds me, so my grandparents were from Randolph, Utah. I don't know if anybody knows where Randolph is. Small town, kind of away from everything. Basalt reminds me of where my grandma and grandpa used to live. Just a quiet hometown atmosphere. So it's nice to be here, and I apologize again for not having you on the list and doing this months ago. But I appreciate your willingness to work with us, and we will come and do the meeting at your convenience next week sometime.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it. I'm taking off.
Okay.
Okay.
See ya.
Okay.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening.
All right. So I guess we need to open a public hearing and amend the fiscal year 2025 through 2026 budget.
I have Ron explain what the amendment is real quick.
So the amendment is basically to cover a little bit more revenue that we had. We had the extra $2,500 for the America 250, and then a little bit more interest than expected, and then the utility increases just to nothing huge. And then I did shift a little bit some of the expenditures, but yeah.
You're gonna have to remind me how to open the budget meeting.
Well, so you can either do a motion to open the public hearing, or just the mayor does it. It's just so the
Mayor.
minutes are clear that we're in
The
the
mayor
public
can
hearing.
do it.
So then if there's anybody in the public who wants to talk about the
Yep.
amendment,
Is there anybody that needs to speak?
And there's budgets over there if you want to look at it.
Okay.
so if there's nobody, then we close the public hearing and move
Okay.
on.
So I'll close the public hearing. Do we need to do a roll call?
Well, so you have
No, not till.
Yeah.
next meeting we'll have an ordinance that
Okay.
talks about it.
All right. So the next one is the fiscal year 2026 and 2027 budget. explain that.
It's setting the budget for this next year. Some of the differences, I didn't carry as much revenue, well, savings into the budget this next year. The street maintenance went down a lot because we're only gonna do 2 roads with the county again, hopefully, and it won't be as much. Water fund, one of the things that probably could be a big topic. So we haven't done as much maintenance, expensive maintenance in water this year because we didn't know how the whole inspection would turn out. We didn't know how much that was even gonna cost, really. So we kind of left that open. So there is some extra maintenance budget that will be left over. I'm gonna carry that over into this next year's budget. There's not as much going into savings. There is some, but we did get approved for a water study for funding for that for $32,500. We have to have matching funds. So that's taking a big chunk of the increase that we just did.
Oh, we should have approved for the water study, but not like a grant.
Yeah, it's half grant, half,
Oh, so it's come through, it's all done and,
yeah.
oh, okay.
We're on the fundable list.
Oh, okay. That's good news.
I think then they said that you have to have a letter that say that we accept.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
now we
A
say
letter
we
of acceptance.
accept and we want to actually apply.
Right.
And Husk is gonna help me with those steps. And then we will also have to, advertise for that one because it's over 50,000.
Is this gonna be to fix the water tank?
No, this is to do a water study so that we will be eligible for.
Oh, yeah,
grant.
that's right. I forgot. I'm sorry. It's getting too far ahead of myself.
Wish you were a civil engineer now, don't you?
Yeah, I really do.
I remember you saying you would go into that if you were good.
Civil engineer, anyway, don't get me started.
So anyway, it's not anything too major on that.
So, if more questions, then you're going to hear it.
What's that?
So if there's no other questions from council, then you can open your public hearing on this one.
Okay, so we'll open a public hearing. If there's nothing else, any questions? Any questions planned? No? Okay.
In public, do they have questions?
Any questions from the two public?
Three
people.
We forget Gil is public. It feels like you're not.
Easier.
I'm not quite yet a city employee.
I don't know if this is a budget question or not, but did we ever decide when we're gonna fix the water thing?
Well,
I'll give it some time.
yeah, so
3 to
the
4 years, we can.
So we can save up a little bit
report
of
came
cushion
back
in it.
and it wasn't as positive as the person inspecting it. Like,
Right,
there was more to it and there is rust happening. They said 2 to 3 years, be ready. They said start
Okay.
saving your money.
okay, perfect, thank you.
Yeah, they'd like to see the
The lid
ceiling
needs to be done now, really.
should be done within the next 1 to 2, but everything else could be pushed off.
But we would like to do it all together.
So we
It
could,
would be better to do it all at once.
so 2 years would be good for the tank and for the ceiling? Yeah. Or is that pushing it too far?
We could push it to 3.
But in all honesty, it's probably gonna take us that long to save the money.
Oh, no, I know that. Okay, thank you. Okay, that was my only
Okay.
question.
So we're,
Yes, close it.
I guess we need to close the public hearing.
Will we do the approvals after we're all done with the public hearings?
Yes, but you'll have an ordinance next month for that one too, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I
Yeah,
have
so
them
you'll
ready.
Oh, do you have them ready?
Yeah,
So you can do your approval of your ordinances if you've got them. I thought you didn't have them.
I do.
Okay.
Let's see.
So you've had your 2 public hearings, you'd have an ordinance on your amendment and then an ordinance on your next year's budget.
There's the budget one, if he wants to look at it. And there's the amended one.
It has been just last year's with new numbers. Yeah, so on your amended budget,
And that's the fees for the next one.
got that one. So for your amended budget, you can just do a motion to approve ordinance 139B and waive all required readings.
For what?
So, yeah, so your motion is to approve ordinance number 139B and waive all required readings.
Motion to approve ordinance 139B and waive all required readings.
All in favor?
That's roll call.
That's roll call. I wrote that on his notes. It was a little out of order.
So I just need to call roll call. So we'll call on that. All in favor?
No, if I know it.
Oh, Brittany,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
Laura,
Yes.
Pam.
Yes.
I got it.
Yeah, you had it. And the next one would be to approve ordinance 140B and waive all required readings.
I approve to,
You motion.
I motion to approve 140B and waive all required readings.
I second it. Yes.
Approved. Alan, Pam,
Yes.
Laura. Okay. I guess they all approve. All right, what's next?
Fee resolution public hearing.
All right, so we got a public hearing, fee resolution number 100.
And I gave you all a copy of that one just so you can look at the chart. So up the security deposit to $159. And then the fees that we really need to change are the electronic payment. It was $5 flat rate with the new computer system. It would be 3.95% with a minimum of $2.50 for a credit debit card. For processing an electronic check, it's $1.95, and then a return check fee of $15 or chargeback fee if a payment's not approved of $15. And that's because of what the payment services that we're getting ready to set up. And I put it to be effective August 27th because that's when it will be installed. It won't be live to everybody till September 1st.
So then you would open your public hearing.
So yeah, I guess we'll open the public hearing. Does anybody have anything to say?
We're done.
No? Okay. How about you guys? We'll call. Yes, Alan?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, Pam? Yes? Okay. All in favor, I guess.
Well, nobody made a motion to approve it.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
you're just
Motion to
closing.
approve.
You gotta close it and somebody needs to motion.
We should write these things down.
Third time is not the charm.
So he has to close it and then
You have
we.
to close
Yeah,
it.
Close the
okay.
public hearing.
So I close public hearing.
Yeah, and then somebody needs to do a motion to approve resolution number 100. And the odd thing is here is you don't have to waive readings because it's just a resolution.
Yeah, that's what I told him on his notes. And no
So
roll
somebody
call.
needs to motion, right?
I motion to approve resolution number 100.
I second it.
All in favor?
No.
No.
Nope, you
Roll
can just do
call.
it on this one. It's just a resolution.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, thanks.
That's a lot.
We'll move on. Brian, what's your maintenance report?
Well, it's been pretty much status quo. We did have a fun little event the other day. We had an alarm going off at the sewer station over there at the lift plant, which it took a little bit for people to find me mowing. And anyways, there was a battery backup for the signal that sends it over to the SCADA. But I kept having funny feelings about it. And I kept checking it and it wasn't running and it wasn't running and it wasn't running, and 10 o'clock rolled around and it was getting pretty deep down there. And so I called Tyson. He's with City of Perth. He's one of our operators. He come out and he helped me figure out I had fuses that were blown. There was a Mod Podge of fuses in that box that weren't supposed to be there. All different sizes, not the right ones. So somewhere in, I had cleaned the switches that sit down in the lift station, and somewhere in there I must have blown a fuse when I was doing that. But it was
It's good. We're
biting
waiting,
fingernails
we're
till
waiting
about.
for all the right fuses to show up now.
Yeah, so we were out there till about 11:30, quarter to 12, making sure it pumped and that we were in a safe level. And we used, Firth had fuses, I did not have any, of course. And so Firth had some that were oversized. We ran with it until I could get the right size ones. So shout out to Firth, they were good to help me
They were
and
prepared.
get that taken care of. I have since acquired the proper fuses and they are in there and it is running fantastic. So
Nice.
crisis averted, but I plan on going through there and ordering more fuses that need to be used in each of my stations. Just because
It's good luck.
I didn't think about that. You never think about fuses, but it was a good wake up call. Been mowing. I had a problem with the mower. I lost a bolt on it. Took a little while to get it, but it's back up and running. I was out mowing again the other day. Other than that, I think things are going pretty good. Can I talk about the property line over there now, or is that something
The
different
property. Oh,
with Chad?
yeah, you can.
Is that part of?
No, I didn't put that anywhere, so go ahead.
Okay. So one of the things, I was talking to Chad Armstrong, he bought the house right next to the well house.
Where Thatcher's lived.
And he was wondering
Where
about
Thatcher's lived.
building codes and everything, and so as we were talking, one of the things that has happened over there is we have a chain link fence that is 3 foot onto our property because of a ditch that's in the very back corner. And I know that's why they put it there, is because to avoid this ditch that's there. Chad is wondering, and I will tend to agree with him, he's got a funky little corner on the other side of the canal that he can't access that's part of his property. And he's wondering if we can do a property swap, hit that little 3 foot along our fence line for that funny little triangle that butts up to our property on the other side of the canal. So I don't know, I drew some, or I've got some pictures here. I'll show you and then you can pass it on. This is a proposed piece that he wants to give up, and this is the one that we want to give up. And this would be what the boundaries would then look like. So I told him I would talk to the council about, I don't know what the procedure is for doing something like that.
I mean, you can trade it, there's no problem with that.
If we change it.
What kind of, are you
That's the new
talking?
lines if we do it.
We would give up 0.7 acres and he would give up back to us 0.5. Right? Point oh
So this is our
five,
city maintenance shop.
0.07 and point.
So we're talking a couple
So
hundred
this
square
is
feet.
the
Yeah.
property right here.
Okay.
So this is the property right here. So then the city maintenance shop right behind that will continue the
Would-
property to the canal.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so just,
How do you go about doing that?
We're gonna wanna do it, yeah, so we just be quick, clean deeds, and we go back and forth. We'll wanna have this a specific agenda item.
Yeah, and do you have to have like a public hearing then? 'Cause
You shouldn't
it's-
have to have a public hearing on it, because you're not selling there, you know.
and that's where the fence line currently is.
That, yeah.
So there's already a fence on that line, it doesn't matter.
And I knew about it, but when they were cleaning up the property, I happened to be over there and he's like, hey, did you know that you've got a property marker over here on this side and it's like 3 foot over? I'm like, yeah, it's because of the ditch that's in the back. So they just, instead of making a little zigzaggy fence in the back, they just drew a straight line and went down, which, I mean, it's easier to do a fence that way, but in the long run, it would be better to.
Yeah. No, we'll, because when you sell property, you have to have a public hearing, in an exchange or going into a specific agenda item. Don't think you have to do a public hearing on that. The biggest deal will be figuring out the legal description. Need it back and forth.
Would it be good for us to get somebody to work it all out, or?
No, well, let me see the maps and then, because the county may be able to give us a description. Because otherwise, somebody's gonna have to pay, $2,500 for a surveyor to tell us, give us a legal description, civil engineer. But anyway.
And you can go on, the GIS mapping, it gave me pretty good measurements. I mean, you gotta kind of zoom in and click and, so that's as close as I can get. Just, I was hoping Chad was gonna be here tonight, but he must have forgot.
Anyway, so we'll work on it.
Okay.
So that's,
Can I take these?
you bet, yeah.
What do you guys
Is that
think
it,
about
then?
that?
Makes sense to me.
Is there anybody that would have a problem with us proceeding with that?
Figuring it all out.
Now, he understands you can't build anything there next to the well or anything like that, right?
Right, the offsets would still apply. And the fence is already right there, I mean, and he works for the city of Shelley in their, so he understands.
Kind of sounds like we could already conceded we're just not using that piece of little strip of land anyway.
Yeah, and we could say, well, let's move the ditch and put the fence where it needs to
Seems
be.
like a lot for 3 feet of
I mean,
property.
and we could do that. We could move the ditch for him and then put the fence, move the
Probably
fence over.
it seems like it's more beneficial just to add on to the
Yeah,
back
it
of
just
the
seems like,
shop.
why would you do that?
Yeah, there is, like I say, if you've ever been over to the burn pile, it's that funny little triangle. There's like a gate that goes back into the city shop. It's that little triangle right there. And most of it is canal right away. Believe it, I mean, so he can't use it for anything.
Okay,
But
I don't have a problem with that.
So let's wait for later, look at it.
Yeah, let me just get the legals, make sure the county will be happy when we record them, and then you'll ultimately make the decision later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll take these with me.
thank
Sounds
you.
good.
All right.
DEQ funding and water
We already
supply.
talked about that.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, that was part of the budget, really. So, and then I had a request to read this letter. I think I'm not. It's just dealing with Cedar Arch Dairies. This was a letter issued July 2nd to the dairies. It's a cease order letter. If anybody's interested, you can read it. And then ordinance number 99, all of our setback and height regulations on buildings. I printed this off for you last month, and you're supposed to take it home and read it for your enjoyment and see if there were anything that you thought about it. But one of the things that we have noticed is there's not a good ordinance that we have been able to find, and I know even Guy struggled finding this ordinance, where fences go on setbacks. I kind of feel like it should be listed clearly, like how many feet back from the center of the road or whatever, like
Really?
our other setbacks do.
We were gonna put up a fence and we went down to, I guess we went to the county.
I know
and they told
that
us.
Guy told us 30 feet, didn't he? There's something like that. It is not
That's what the city
anywhere
law
that Brian
is.
and I can find.
Huh, I didn't know that.
So the only thing that in the beginning of that, it says all building needs to be the 45-foot setback. Well, then it goes A, B, C, under that. And so it leads one to believe that everything
Should be 45 feet
should be
back.
45 feet. Well, that's how far we want buildings. But 30 feet is actually your property line. So we're asking,
Well, so as long as you had your site triangles dealt with.
right,
So like Blackwood's, for example, we're averaging, once you get so close that it has to be, less than 4 feet or whatever it is, and then it can go up to 6 or 7, I think. You can average 6, Blackwood allows 7.
Yeah.
So you could,
it does give us the square triangle, the 50, the 60, and the 100, what,
site
depending on.
triangle thing, yeah.
But
it's
it
also-
just doesn't specify
Where the fence should go.
from the center of the road.
And then the other thing that I mentioned last month was this R2. This whole block has been designated as an R2. And how do you feel about keeping that, the block that the apartments are on? Or just making where the apartments are an R2 and everything else back to R1? Anyways, did anybody read it?
I think we need to do the second things. I think we're just going to leave the apartments alone because they're basically going to be grandfathered in. I really think
I'm
we should
not
change
saying
the
to
rest of the
change
block.
them, but just the rest of the block.
I think the rest of the block needs to be changed back to an R1 so that we don't have people coming in.
And then one of the other things that we ran into recently is, Goshen used to be taken care of by the county. I mean, all the setbacks along that road were done by the county. And then now we take care of it. So should the setbacks for at least Goshen match what the county does? And have that road specifically listed with its own setbacks.
Well, that would also.
Because it's a wider road and a busier road.
I think that offset would also include Oregon Road because it's not a major collector, but it is
It's an
the next one
incredibly
down.
busy
It's the
road.
next one
So
down, the
I
collector,
gave
which
you
is a
more
different
homework.
offset,
So
so.
now if you're lacking, now you have 2 and you'll be graded. Okay, so read this, and then I had the county send me their setbacks for their roads and what they do. So just, you can compare and make notes, and I think that this is something that we should work on and plan on.
And you'll have.
So the setbacks
So
are-
with your planning and zoning issues, you'll have a public hearing.
Right, I get that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, these are some things that we're seeing are maybe some
Well, what you
shortfalls.
may want to do is just schedule it up for the public hearing so you get some input. So don't
Yeah.
make your decision before the public hearing. You can't.
Yeah,
And so you want to get that input. So you may want to get that input.
but they
sooner
should
than
read
later.
them and understand what they're,
Sure, and then you'd have a public hearing. Like, so you're going to have a public hearing sooner than later. So you can get that input before you kind of make up your mind. I mean,
yeah.
The question is, the setbacks,
I thought we was under the county.
is that setback
your setback
for
restriction,
fences?
so you need to adopt.
Well, that's
Or is that changing property lines?
I don't know what you're
We're
asking.
not changing our property.
All right, so, all right,
We're
so,
just saying where fences can be.
just where fences can be, fences should be on property lines.
How close to the road? So can you build the road, or can you build your fence right to the road and be?
No, because that's city property.
No, right to the property line. You're not changing the property line, you're just saying how close can you build to it?
You should be able to build on the property line.
2 different property lines, road property line between lots. You can build right on the property line, but how close can the fence get to the road?
So you basically, you can't build a fence in the front of your property.
Well, or heights, or that's the question.
Yeah.
What should that ordinance be?
All right, because, it sounded, just the way, it sounded a little,
Well, we already have the ordinance there. It's not very clear.
yeah.
Yeah,
We need to change some
So
wording.
basically, it's just fence height on the property line.
On holidays and stuff, they have to be able to see around them, you can't.
Right, yeah, exactly, so like at your corners and stuff, you have a 4 foot up to, and then so far back, then you can go higher. But it's still on property line, on the owner's property line.
Right, but all of those issues are just, to be discussed. Because you could actually, you could say no fences right on the property line on the front. You have different rules for a front yard, side yard, backyard, and that's up to city council. So I mean, some areas would say no front fence, you have to be 15 feet
Like the
back.
new housing they're building, it's no fences in front.
So I mean, that's all to be discussed.
Yeah.
You can put them on the sides and the back, but you can't fence the.
How soon can we have a public hearing on it? So,
Well, we could do it next month, I
Do
don't
it next
care.
month.
But
Then you could
just be ready, I guess.
That would be good, because I need to build a fence.
I think, I like what Garrett said, let's get some input, see if anybody has any thoughts, and then we can also take that into consideration.
Yeah, I just think it needs to be a little bit more clear.
I
We've
agree.
had a little pushback lately.
I just thought we had something. I just always,
I thought we did too, but
Well, and like I say, just because it isn't very specific,
I think it's pretty obvious when you go around town and you see everybody's fence line 30 feet back from the center.
but there's some people that
It's
want
pretty common.
it like, no, it's not
Yeah.
clear.
well, and like, the guy told me I was fine, but that little one I've got over there is probably not right. But, so, we need to have it clear.
we gotta
because-
have it the same for everybody. Yeah, we need it in writing.
Yeah, so that if I'm going around and I'm saying, it's gotta be this, then I need the paper that says it's.
Not necessarily saying it has to change, I'm just saying the wording needs.
Is there anything we can do?
Just to be
So
clarified.
we're talking about fences and corners and not being able to see around a corner, but you have a neighbor that consistently leaves their vehicle on the corner and you can't see around.
Well, we have our
Dictate your parking,
ordinance, yeah.
Because we are getting more complaints again with that stupid van down the road, that they will not move it and you cannot see around the
Yeah, I
corner.
think it needs to be.
Yeah, so
fixed
same
at
thing,
this
I mean,
point.
those are your city streets, so you can change your ordinances
I would have to
to.
deal with that again, I think Gina.
But then, what had happened last time we tried to do that? It all fell apart.
Well, and
No,
once
he
again,
got one towed.
He did,
yeah, he had the one
he
total,
just moved one right back.
but then he put that white van back where the other one,
But the deal is, he licensed it.
I don't think it's
Yeah,
licensed.
no, he put new tags on it, I noticed that driving by.
Well, but that's two separate issues, right? So you'd have your nuisance car ordinances, but your parking, you could dictate whatever. So it could be a, Lamborghini, but it's supposed to the corner, you can tow it.
Well, doesn't have to be so far
So
away from the
parking
stop
issue.
sign.
Don't they approve of the corner?
I thought there was a,
No,
Well,
it's-
but see, that-
That Suburban and an old blue truck on the corner.
I was gonna
Can't
say,
see around.
we need to be
Oh,
careful
it's
because.
not me.
Yeah.
You can gladly throw that.
I was gonna say-
I've been trying to get rid of that for years.
As you're thinking about these things and as we have our public hearing, you need to keep in account that it's not just the white van, it's
all
the fact that I parked right next to the stop sign right here. And sometimes when my kids got, I think out in front of your place too.
I'm gonna go home and say,
People
I gotta
park right
complain
there in
about
front.
that.
Yeah, trying to buy bikes and unheld.
Okay.
Now, if you
Well,
I
change-
guess there's a difference between a permanent stuff
Right,
there, or
yeah.
something that does never, ever move.
But as we have a public hearing, then those things need to be discussed, whether you want, if it's, how long can it be parked there, how often does it need to be moved?
That doesn't go into public hearing though, does it?
Just
That's
gonna say, any of
an
your
ordinance.
safety issues, street issues, you don't have to have a public hearing on.
Just
You
plain
may
and
want to,
simple.
you can have one, but, you don't have to on safety things. your
So
police
is
cars.
that white thing
Okay,
on city property or
It's a
on their
bit-
property?
It's on city,
It's technically on city property.
because it's on the other side of the ditch, so it's on the city.
It's actually straddled right on the ditch.
Okay, I think we're finished for today.
unless there's any other comments.
Before everybody leaves, just so you know, chances are nothing will change this fall, but I did put in for Judge Hanson's spot.
Oh.
He's retiring in January, so they go through a whole committee process, and I have a slim chance.
Well, have a little faith in yourself, come
Well,
on.
you never know, there's 8 good people to put in for it. But we would know by mid-October. The interviews, if I make the shortlist, will be October 15th, and then the position doesn't start until January 11th or 10th, like that. So I'd had 3 months to help you vet replacement. But, I mean, there's a chance, but it's probably slim.
Okay.
Do you wanna be a
Well,
judge?
good luck, Karen.
Well, so the thing is, they only come around about every 10 to 15 years, and you have to live in the county and where they're at. And so the last one was 10 years ago when Judge Colson got put in. So it's kind of a once in a career opportunity. Because the next one that would come around would be probably 15 years from now, and I'd be way too old at that point. And and 10 years ago, I wasn't in a position to even think I would be useful there. So, so it's like I say, it's a once in a career kind of opportunity.
Okay.
And I may send a link, so there's a link for public comment, and say, hey, any positive comments, I'd appreciate it.
No.
Yeah, you should.
But anyway, we'll see.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Okay,
Very good.
anybody want a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor? Okay, thanks, appreciate it.